Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to a brand new episode of RoundUp.
Today, as always, we have an absolute packed episode from segments from all around the world.
But first, let's take a look at what we have in store for you today.
We have the latest from Gaza, where the death toll has topped 20,000. Then we have an introduction to Christianity from our team in the US. Our French reporter gives us a look inside the European Parliament. And finally, we'll take a stroll on the beach in the Gambia.
Wow, I'm really looking forward to this episode. Our team's been hard at work on this one.
I'm excited too, but first, let's take a look at what's in the news this week. Assalamu alaikum Zaid, what do you have for us today?
Walaikum assalam. We have a lot of interesting news stories this week, so let's get right into it. COVID infections are surging once again, with almost 5% of people in England and Scotland testing positive in mid-December. That's more than double the rate of infections at the beginning of the month. At the same time, the World Health Organization announced that rapid spread of JN1 Omicron variant across India, China, UK, and the US. The WHO warns that COVID and other infections could rise this winter. Next up, footage of an orange cat has been beamed back to Earth from deep in space. NASA sent the 15-second clip of Taters the cat to a laser some 80 times the distance from the Earth to the Moon. The video was uploaded to a spacecraft launched with SpaceX's Falcon Heavy rocket and streamed from 19 million miles away. The test is part of NASA's Deep Space Optical Communications mission. And lastly, revamped plans from controversial European Super League were announced this week. The move comes after the European Court of Justice on Thursday ruled that banning clubs from joining a breakaway league was unlawful. The new league would include 64 men's clubs and 32 women's clubs, and it would rival current UEFA tournaments. That's all for this week. Back to you, Ghani and Nasser. Bye.
Jazakallah Zaid for the news this week.
It's now time for our weekly summary from beloved Hadoor Aydullah Ta'ala bin Aziz's most recent Friday sermon. Usman and Rohel are here to share some key points from this week.
Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters, and welcome to this week's Friday sermon discussion. Today we're continuing to delve into the incidents relating to the Battle of Uhud.
There's so much to learn from what happened during the battle. Beloved Hazur Ayyadullah Ta'ala bin Aziz mentioned some remarkable lessons that we can take away from it.
One of the big things was about sticking to a plan, even when things seemed to be going well. The companions were stationed on a hill but left their post too soon, thinking the battle was won.
Exactly, Usman. It teaches us the importance of discipline and following instructions, even when it's tempting to rush into something exciting. The companions' desire to join the celebrations of victory, even against orders, caused a setback.
It's fascinating how this desire isn't about the spoils of war, but the human instinct to be in the midst of things, even if it means deviating from a plan.
But their impatience had serious consequences. The enemy took advantage of the gap they left and turned the tables.
That's where the real tragedy struck. The chaos led to the martyrdom of some incredible figures like Hazrat Hamza radhiyallahu anhu. His bravery and sacrifice are truly inspiring.
And even amidst that sorrow, there's a lesson in patience and strength from Hazrat Hamza's sister. She showed immense courage and resilience in the face of tragedy.
It's remarkable how she handled the situation, keeping her composure and showing strength even in the most distressing circumstances.
Let's not forget the importance of forgiveness. Even though the assassin of Hazrat Hamza anhu was forgiven by the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, the pain of loss was immense.
It's a reminder that forgiveness doesn't always erase the pain, but it's a step towards healing.
Beloved Hazur also mentioned Sheikh Ahmed Hussein Abu Sardana, the recent and first Ahmadi martyr in Gaza. His life also teaches us about the values of knowledge, dedication, and standing up for what you believe in.
Absolutely, Rohil. His journey towards Ahmadiyyat and his dedication to learning and spreading knowledge is truly incredible.
So the key takeaways in this week's sermon are discipline, sticking to the plan, patience in adversity, the strength of forgiveness, and the value of knowledge and dedication.
These are timeless lessons which we can apply in our lives today. It's about resilience, staying true to principles, and the strength of character.
Hazur Ayatollah Ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz also stressed the critical need to fervently pray for the people of Palestine, particularly in these difficult times. He urged us all to deepen our prayers, dedicating ourselves to seeking peace in the region through our supplications.
That's it for today, my dear brothers and sisters. Let's remember to make time to listen to our beloved Hazur's sermons in full. It's filled with blessings and many insightful lessons for us to absorb and to learn from.
Until next time,
Assalamu
Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah Usman and Rohel for that informative discussion on the recent Friday sermon. But always remember to listen to Hazur's sermon in full yourself. It's now time for our special report on the latest situation in Gaza. Ghani, what do you have for us today?
Jazakallah Nasser. The latest figures from the Palestinian Ministry of Health and Israeli sources put the death toll at over 20,000 in Gaza. The United Nations Security Council finally passed a watered-down resolution on Friday, calling for the scaling up and monitoring of aid going into Gaza. The vote on Friday came after a week of diplomatic back and forth, where the US demanded that key elements were removed from an initial draft that called for an immediate ceasefire. Even then, the US and Russia abstained. Meanwhile, a United Nations-backed report said that the entire 2.3 million population of Gaza is facing crisis levels of hunger and increasing risk of famine. Over 500,000 people are at catastrophic levels of starvation.
We waited 71 days for Israel finally to allow aid to enter Gaza via the Kerem Shalom crossing. And the crossing was then hit while aid trucks were in the area. Second, the humanitarian operation requires staff who can live and work in safety. 136 of our colleagues in Gaza have been killed in 75 days, something we have never seen in the history of the United Nations. Nowhere is safe in Gaza.
Elsewhere, the Israeli army arrested a number of people during raids across the West Bank. More than 4,600 people have been taken in raids and mass arrests since the 7th of October. It's also a grim holiday season for Christians as Bethlehem is largely empty, with churches across the area announcing the cancellation of all Christmas festivities that week. Beloved Hazur, Hazrat Khalifa al-Masih V, may Allah be his helper, once again called for prayers for the people of Gaza in his latest Friday sermon.
दुआ करें जुल्म के ख़िलाफ़ हकीकी अमल की दुनिया को अल्लाह ताला तौफीक दे गो आवाज़ों में तो कुछ बुलंदी पैदा होनी शुरू हुई है बातें भी करते हैं कि जुल्म हो रहा है लेकिन इसराइली हुकूमत से लगता है सब खौफज़दा हैं या फितरतन ये मगरबी दुनिया है मुसलमानों के ख़िलाफ़ है जो नफ़रत है उसकी वजह से ये चाहते हैं कि मुसलमानों पर जुल्म या ख़त्म ना हो या जो कोशिश होनी चाहिए उस तरह कोशिश ना हो चाहे ये नहीं देखते कि मासूम बच्चे हैं मज़लूम औरतें हैं इन पर जुल्म हो रहे हैं बूढ़े हैं तो बहरहाल इन पर हम तो ज़्यादा एतमाद नहीं कर सकते लेकिन कोशिश बार करते रहना चाहिए इनको समझाते भी रहना चाहिए और दुआ भी करते रहना चाहिए मुसलमान मुल्कों को ही अल्लाह ताला हिम्मत दे कि अपने आवाज़ में ज़ोर पैदा करें और हकीकत में एक बन के इस जुल्म के ख़िलाफ़ आवाज़ उठाएं और उसको ख़त्म करने की कोशिश करें.
That's the latest from Gaza. Back to you, Nasser.
Jazakallah for the update, Ghani. As Ghani mentioned, we are approaching Christmas, which we all know about. But do you know about Christianity? Well, our reporter from USA is here to give us an introduction about the largest religion in the world. So let's take a look.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Let me show you where I am today. I am at this really nice church, and today we're going to learn about Christianity. Followers of Christianity are known as Christians, meaning followers of Jesus Christ alayhi salam. In Islam, Jesus alayhi salam is considered a prophet of God. However, in Christianity, he is considered the literal Son of God. A church is a place of worship for Christians. like a mosque is for Muslims. Christians gather here every Sunday for Mass, which is essential prayer service for all the members.
A church is a gathering place for people who want to come and learn more about God. And we welcome people from all walks of life, from all over the world. So we invite people to come to learn about God, to ask their questions, and to grow in their faith about God, and to be connected to each other.
The central book of Christianity is known as the Holy Bible.
The Bible that we use as our guide for faith consists of an Old Testament and a New Testament. And the Old Testament summarizes God's interaction with the Jewish people. So the Bible, Old Testament, predicts and prophesizes about the coming Messiah. The New Testament tells us of his coming. There are many religions of the world, and everyone has a different understanding of who God is and what God is like.
The Holy Quran presents Jesus alayhi salam as a pious prophet of God born to Hazrat Maryam alayhi salam through miraculous birth. Jesus alayhi salam faced a lot of opposition and was eventually crucified, meaning put on a wooden cross as punishment by the people. The promised Messiah alayhi salam has explained that Jesus alayhi salam in fact lived after his crucifixion and traveled to the east where he preached his message. He is currently buried in Srinagar, Kashmir.
So our mission statement is to know God, love life, and to serve others.
This shows us that Allah the Almighty sent all the religions in the world for these two reasons. 1, to grow in His love, and 2, to serve humanity. I really enjoyed this trip to the church. I hope that you have learned more about Christianity. Until next time, Allah Hafiz.
Jazakallah for that informative report. You know, Ghani, for those of us that live in the UK, the topic of Brexit and the European Union has been in the headlines for most of our lives.
That's true, actually, but some of us may not know what the European Union does.
Well, not to worry, because our reporter in France has an explanation.
Assalamu alaikum. Aujourd'hui, nous allons découvrir ensemble le Parlement européen. Le Parlement est un endroit très important où les adultes prennent des décisions qui impactent nos vies. Allons découvrir ce lieu ensemble. C'est là que les représentants de 27 pays de l'Union européenne se réunissent pour discuter de lois et de décisions importantes. Ce sont les députés européens qui s'occupent de ça. Ils sont élus par les citoyens de chaque pays pour les représenter ici même à Strasbourg. C'est comme une grande équipe qui travaille ensemble pour faire de l'Europe un endroit meilleur. Les députés européens se réunissent pour débattre de plein de choses, l'éducation, la santé ou même l'environnement. Ils travaillent ensemble pour créer des lois qui aident à régler ces problèmes. L'une des choses géniales au Parlement européen, c'est la diversité. Il y a des députés de différents pays avec des cultures et des langues différentes. C'est un endroit où l'on célèbre la diversité et où on l'apprend des uns des autres. Et devinez quoi ? Les députés européens prennent également des décisions importantes qui nous concernent les enfants. Ils veillent à ce que nous ayons des bonnes écoles, des jouets sûrs et un environnement propre. Si tu veux t'impliquer, tu peux en parler à tes parents ou à tes enseignants. Tu peux même participer à des projets sur l'Europe dans ta classe. Qui sait, peut-être que tu deviendras un député européen un jour. Et voilà pour aujourd'hui. J'espère que tu as appris plein de choses sur le fonctionnement de l'Europe. C'est important de connaître ces choses pour construire un avenir meilleur. À la prochaine!
That's definitely quite interesting. We may not be part of the European Union, but it definitely sounds like a thriving organisation.
It does indeed. But there is one thing I would love to be a part of right now, and that's a nice holiday on a beautiful beach.
That's right, I'm getting tired of the cold and rain. So let's head over to the Gambia to explore the beautiful beaches.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. My name is Basilja, and today all I need is good dose and vitamins. That's why I'm at the beach. The Gambia is a small country with long sandy beaches. and is also known as the beach lovers' paradise. These stunning beaches are the very reasons that attract hundreds and thousands of visitors in the Gambia yearly. The Gambia is located at the west coast of Africa. It is surrounded on the three sides by Senegal, with the Atlantic Ocean to the west. There is a lot more in the vicinity of the beach. There are hotels and restaurants with thatched roof of cabanas to relax by the beach. There are craft markets where you can get things like handmade baskets, paintings, wood carvings like masks, drums, and more. And that's not all. It's also a home to a lively fishing market. The brightly pointed boats are used for fishing. So many exciting and lively activities happen at the beach. You can swim or just stand in the water and watch the waves unfold towards you. It's superb and enjoying playing with the sand. You can do horse riding at the seafront. Believe me, it was very satisfying and rewarding. You can also play football and enjoy get-togethers with family and friends. I welcome you all to the Gambia, the smiling coast of Africa. Subhanallah, I never met a sunset I didn't like. It's just amazing.
What a beautiful beach. I'd definitely love to go there one day.
Inshallah, one day. But now we're wrapping up the episode of Roundup.
Don't forget to tune in next week for the last episode of 2023, as we mark Jalsa Salana Guardian.
That is sure to be a very exciting episode.
And don't forget to check out our Instagram or our social media for exclusive behind-the-scenes content.
Jazakallah for joining us in today's episode, and until next time, Assalamu alaikum.
Seek to reach all the corners of the earth. Oh, I shall call. Oh, I shall call. I shall call. Oh, I shall call. I shall call. Thy seek to reach all the corners of the earth.